Good morning, everyone. Serena here. And I would like to talk briefly about our safety-seeking mechanism. Safety-seeking mechanism means that we don't feel, we don't say, do, or express certain things ourselves and our emotions in order to stay safe in different ways. And this safety-seeking mechanism, erring on the side of safety and staying small or not saying things, not feeling things, especially in front of people or just within ourselves, it's not there just for no reason, because we have nothing better to do but to repress ourselves and to stay safe. But it's also strongly and directly related, and actually it's deeply rooted in our family dynamics. And it comes through our family dynamic. We learned it from our parents, from our family. And very often, if not always, it goes back to generations, like it happens from generation to generation, this learning to stay safe. And of course, there are our little traumas. There are our little traumas with our parents or siblings within the family, that we can't say certain things. We can't express certain emotions because then trouble comes. And we don't want to get into conflicts. We don't want to get hurt. We don't want to be hit by mom, etc. So there are our personal ways to stay safe. But even that's related to our family dynamics, our family patterns. Like, for example, in my family, back then, generations before, there was the war, and during and after the war, many women got raped, like just in my family, the mother of my grandmother. And so in that age, at that time, women had to learn to shut down their voice. And in order to stay safe and even to stay alive, they had to shut down their voice, not expressing their hurt and anger and fear about what was happening and what happened, in order not to, because if they expressed, they might got killed, or the people around them, the neighbors, they would look at them like, oh, what a shame is that, like it's shame for the women to get raped or something like this. So in order not to feel the shame, not to get into that situation where people know this about them, they wanted to avoid feeling the shame, So they shut down their voice. They were hiding what happened to them, So, and it got stuck in the dynamics, in the family dynamics through the generations, like shutting down our voice, not to get hurt, shutting down and not expressing our anger about the abuse, the harassment and stuff like this. So it stayed in the family dynamic. So that's where I learned also, the same thing. So I don't want to upset mom. So I know that she doesn't want to talk about certain things. She doesn't want to express the hurt and the fear. So I also learned not to upset her. So I also learned to shut down the fear and the hurt. Or dad doesn't want to get angry and show the anger, because then others will judge the family like, oh, what a shame. There is an angry man in the family who cannot control himself. So we don't want people know that dad is angry, So we shut down our voice again, not to bring shame to the family. Or dad is shutting down his anger not to go back into the same pattern of hurting someone, because then he would have to feel like guilty, and he doesn't want to feel the guilt. So we also shut it down. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the anger. We don't express the anger. We don't talk about mom's shame, mom's fear and hurt. So I also, when I feel hurt, shame, anger, fear, whatever emotion, I shut it down to stay within this realm of safety within each other, you know? It's like a silent voice of agreeing that we don't say, do, and express certain things and emotions. So it stays hidden in the family. And we unconsciously believe it's like a silent agreement within each other that it has to stay like this, so then we are safe. Nobody gets to know. Something like this. So that's the safety-seeking mechanism. It's deeply rooted in the family and in the family dynamic. And we don't want to disturb that, because then again, trouble comes. We fall out of the family dynamic, and that's scary. We want to stay in the same pattern that's played out by everyone in the family, something like this. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I explained it clearly. Actually, it's very, very simple. We just want to stay safe within our family, and so nothing gets disturbed. And it's always come back to certain emotions, as I said, through this example. Like, if mom doesn't want to feel hurt and express the hurt and acknowledge the hurt, then I want to stay connected with mom. So I'm not going to express the hurt. No way. I'm not going to express it. I shut it down. And then later in life, I have to face the consequences, the pain, the mental health issues, the sicknesses, etc. So if dad is angry and he shuts down his anger because he doesn't want to hurt anyone, then I also I fake, as if I don't see this, if I don't know anything about that, because I want to stay connected with dad. I need his care and love. So I also shut down that I know about that. I also shut down my own hurt and anger. And then later in life, I again have to face the consequences. So we can decide for how long do we want to believe that this is actually safe, because it's not. And it's not helping us to actually find our real safety that comes from taking full responsibility for this safety-seeking repressive mechanism, repressing myself, repressing my emotions because of that dynamic, that family dynamic. It's like a repressive family dynamic, if I can say like this. So I can decide for how long I want to believe in this delusion that that's safe, and that this comes from love or something like this, because it's not. It's not safe. It doesn't come from love. It doesn't come from care. So I can decide if I want to choose a different path and take care of this here. And I can say it from experience that I chose otherwise. And then I started to feel through the KI, emotional repression work. It's very liberating, by the way, challenging, but liberating also. I came to that place during doing the work, that a transformation happened, when I could just see the unreality and the fakeness of that. And by reversing my own repressive safety-seeking mechanism, I started to feel that I don't need anyone to love myself. I don't need them. That's a fake belief in the mind that can be brought up through the somatic inquiry that we do here at KI. All these beliefs come through the family, and I came to that integrity within myself, where I could feel that I don't need them. I don't need to participate in that anymore, and I don't need them or anyone to choose myself and choose my own healing, and not the destruction and not the damage, and not further damage by staying in that dynamic. And that brought up and has been bringing up a lot of love, a lot of healing love, if I can say, within myself, by choosing myself and going to the root of this deep repression that started with that dynamic and pattern. That's how I serve my family, that I step out of that. I go to the root of my emotional safety-seeking mechanism, this strong repression within myself. And the more I go into it and the more I reverse it, the more I come out of this repression that started there with the family, the more I feel I cannot choose anything or anyone else but myself. And that's something very different. My family did not teach me this. I could learn it only through this self-work that I've been doing through KI, with KI. And that's a very good feeling and satisfying feeling when you just feel that you don't need anyone or anything to stay safe. When you feel that you don't have to repress any emotion, any expression within yourself, but you can just take full responsibility for this just by coming out of repression. That takes work, that takes courage, but the result is just so much freedom, so much love, so much connectedness, and so much joy also, showing who I am and connecting through that with you and with people. So this decision, it's in our hand to choose to not to stay in the old patterns, not to err on the side only of the safety anymore, that fake safety, that fake lie, but to choose myself, but to choose this integrity of that comes from somatic processing and reversing this self and emotional repression that I learned through my family. And from here I can say I understand them and the dynamic, and I even love them more than ever, just because I went in and I chose this integrity, this real healing, this real opening that can happen by choosing the work, by choosing the inner work, and by leaving that will be scary, to leave that dynamic, to leave that pattern and safety, fake safety. But we can decide if we want freedom, if we want to experience life in its totality, or if we want to stay in repressed mode, hiding, wanting to feel safe. This choice is only in our hands, and it's only us who can decide to choose freedom. Thank you.